Welcome back, everyone, for another episode of Planet Nomads. I have done some expansion. I finished my house to the point that I feel I'm comfortable with it, the way it looks right now, at least externally. I decided to go with a little bit of a skylight, kind of make it look a little bit nicer, and some extra solar panels, plus a little battery array up here. So regardless, I'll have power at least for lights, hopefully. And of course, it's raining again. You see, I have really no decorations inside. That's later. I also built a second container tower, which I ended up placing this one a little bit higher in the ground level, you can see, but it is connected in as well. I've already built across here. I do believe what I'm going to do is set up a switching mechanism with the hover pads to allow me to connect and disconnect these, but I've decided 2 of these is enough. So the rest of this space here is going to be for something with the movable containers that we can drop in. And to that end, I've already made the lifter that I've used in the past. So what we're going to do today is take the Toad and head out to one of these sites and try to start setting up an actual mining site to use the movable containers, so I can start bringing back zeonite, titanium, things like that. The higher most tier items, the ones that I need a lot of, at least now. So first things first, I'm back here at the zeonite farming location. Let's make sure, and it is acting like it's broken again. My unlimited mining just for some reason does not want to stick. It's like, even though it still says in the game save when I open it up in the database viewer that I have unlimited mining set, it still is pulling all of the materials out. So I saved the game after I emptied pretty much everything out of the rig here and redid everything, basically wiping all the terrain harvest data once again, checking and seeing that auto mining harvest style is set correctly, and writing the changes, loading it, or replacing the game save, loading in, and specifically choosing that game, and we'll see how long it lasts this time. But now that that's at least working again, I've got a pretty much full inventory of higher end materials. I think it's time to look at building a platform here. What I've done here is make a basic framework, which for some reason is now showing like it's not connected, and yet this is floating in the air. So that's a little odd. It was connected when I placed it down, now it's not visibly. But yeah, basically I just did that as a way to make sure I got everything lined up evenly with this, so no weirdness with having to line up a conveyor connector all at a weird angle. So this will allow me to basically, instead of using the conveyor connector here, just basically tie in directly off of it if I want. And it means I have a base platform by which to gauge everything else and build from. So now that I have this going, it'll mean, well, actually, as long as that keeps producing the wide range, I really don't even have to do that one. So yeah, this is just going to give me a platform that I'm going to build out. I want to have a landing platform so I can land here with even the black toad if I choose, and have it just kind of sit there. But mainly this will be so I can bring and drop off one of a rotation of containers. Have 2 containers set for use with this, so that when I drop one off for taking in materials, I pick up the next one. And I'm going to clear some of this off. I don't want to take it completely out. I want it to have grounding, but at the same time I want to be where there's no terrain visible through the floor. So once again, I started building with regular foundations and ultimately switched to the ceiling tiles because, that way I could just have a conveyor system that goes straight up, and build this out to where this is the docking pads, have it where this just feeds straight upwards, and have it split between 2 pad points. So it'll just go up here and then have one right above it, one to the side, kind of thing. I think that should work well enough. And then all of this back here can be customized to be like a little, maintenance place, like a little structure, and then have the landing pad on top for vehicles like the Black Toad. And then just, fly in from the side, pick up or drop off one container, pick up the other one, and then fly off back to the main base. All right, so I've got the basic setup going now. It's connected. I think I'm just going to build, instead of a full round column, build just a front leg type column, and then maybe be able to use this for housing, I don't know, maybe something like that. I get that to fit in a certain way. No, it's not. But maybe I can extend the size and make it really big columns. It probably won't work on that side. I may have to actually extend it out further in the end. But that's okay. This will just basically look like extra support. Probably do another set of legs there and go from that point forward. Now it's time to see if I can build and get it to line up right the docking pad for the mobile container. So I've made 2 game saves because it does tend to like overriding game saves as I'm trying to do stuff. And so it's not actually going to let me just kind of block it off. There it goes immediately right after I've done the game save. It's like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and do another autosave. I guess I'm just going to have to position it kind of the best I can and then work around that. Hopefully, that looks to be about the center. Right? Yeah, we'll try this. If it doesn't work, then I'll be reloading from one of the 2 saves that I made. Yeah, that's almost center. It may be a case I just have to use a conveyor connector coming off, and I may end up having to redo the other part below, but that should at least give me something. And here we go. All right, we've got that. Got a little blue beacon. All right, and so it's conveyor connectors coming off, and then get under here. Yeah, we got that. So it's gonna work. I'm just gonna have to do a conveyor connector type of thing. Instead, let's see, how far down can I get this to go? Like, building could be a lot better in this game. That's for sure. We're gonna do like this then, and we'll do the conveyor connector. That. Okay, we're gonna do one more and another. Get to place it. Conveyor connector. Alright, and I think I'm out of range. I should have. Yes. Let's say I know I've got the supplies for it. And we're connected. Okay, so that works. And then I'll just branch off over here. I think from the space of that, I can line it up over here as well. So we'll take this one out. And I think I'll do it like that. Actually, let's just place the frame so I can see. And we'll branch off from here. I think. What? Really? So I cannot build that. Really? It's doing that same stupid thing again. Like, it's connected above, but I can't connect it here. All right, we're going to try it here. Make sure. Yes. Okay, so that is there. It looks like it's going to line up. Oh, yeah, that is very close. The only problem will be the distance of the conveyor pieces themselves, the little individual single steps, may cause it to not want to be flush quite right, or it may be that it wants to overlap. But hopefully it should work. And there we go. We have 2 of them. I actually have it kind of rotated differently. I don't even have power yet. I'm not sure, other than lighting for this, what the power is going to really serve purpose-wise. Let's do that. We'll connect electricity there, and then can I reach it? No, I can't. I'll have to move that closer. But now, let's focus on this part. Take this conveyor connector out and this one out. And we're going to single step out from this. Apparently, I am out of range of my wireless connection. But that's okay, because I did just dismantle 2 of these. And look at that. Oh, yeah. Connected perfectly. So basically, they'll share between each other. And the idea is I'll have one container docked. I'll bring another one in, I'll land, I'll dock it, and I'll pick that one up and carry it back. Then the next time I'll bring the empty one here, dock it, pick up the full one, carry it back. So I don't have to worry about anything connection-wise below, and this will just fill up whatever containers docked at the time. And if I really want to, I can have 2 containers docked and be fine. Now we're going to connect power to here so we can see what's happening. What's happening? Oh, hey, a winch. Okay, so there's winches on this. Makes me wonder if I can then just pick it up and... Oh, yeah, I'm going, yep. There's winches, so I guess you could technically take the entire thing to another location, which is, you know, tied in with the idea of you don't want to build it and have to leave it or go in and dismantle it because that resource deposit has run out. So rather than having a configuration like this where you have a winch to lift the whole thing off, you have just this. You use the container. Whenever this is out, you'll pick up the container and move it to another location, base or whatever, and then come back and collect this with the winches to move it to a new site and then bring a container to there and just, yeah. I think that's actually too many extra steps for me to want to use it that way. But we are going to use it at least this way so I can bring containers back. And if I try to build a container and see if it'll just drop in, let's just go ahead and drive back, build the container at the base, and fly it over here. Okay, here we go. We have the Mark 1 version of the container, which this is going to be a little tricky. I remember how to do this, but it was not exactly the easiest thing to make work, regardless of how nicely fitting the designs are together. And I'm getting, like, caught on it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so done. At least I know I'm, like, kind of wedged in there right when the cockpit is in the place. Oh, yeah, and it's lifting forward. There we go. So, not the speediest thing, but it means now I can head to the location I just set up, drop it off, and now I know how the other, you know, parts are going to fit, how the containers, the docks are going to work in terms of connecting with the conveyors. So, yeah, I'm just going to have to go and drop this off, and this is going really slow. Hopefully I can find a way to speed it up a bit. It may be so that it doesn't lean forward and cause it to slide out. So taking a look at this design now, I see it's got quite a few containers of its own on there. So I guess so you can carry a few things, or maybe so you can carry the exact amount of supplies you need for deploying one of the docks. Though I'm not seeing anywhere that it has a, you know, replicator. Maybe it's, you know, you just add a replicator to it in one spot and it's done. I don't know. But it doesn't have that. Weird placement there with the buffer. Like you see that square block that's not filled in. It's just like a buffer in front of the lights. Oh well, it's going to work at least. So after flying around with the Who drive, going at a normal pace just feels so amazingly slow. I mean, this is about 1/5 the speed of just the basic Who drive speed on the Black Toad. And then when I go full speed, this is like a 1/10 of that. Now, this does turn a lot faster, which is nice. But, you know, the forward motion could be a little bit faster for my taste. I definitely will have to play with it a bit, see if there is a way I can make it speed up a little bit. Let's see how well this... Alright, so yeah, it's pretty much... You see, nothing's actually connected on my... it's not connected to the base like it should be. Let's make sure this drops in. I might have to be a little bit more careful dropping in the containers. Alright, let's lift just enough. And... yeah, that's still very, very, not exactly fine-tuned, but that has to do with the game physics, not anything that the creator of the designs has done. And it looks like even though I nudged the drop point, everything's still connected there. So that's a good sign. Let's land and actually take a quick peek too. Make sure this is tied in, because it should be that if I see it, it shows more than just the container. It's not tying in. Why is it not tied in? It's acting like it is. It's got a connection like it is. Yeah, look at that. It's saying it's connected. Why am I not seeing everything below? I mean, that's connected. Do not tell me it's not connecting it on the trunk there. Yes, I bet the problem goes back to the same thing I had happen at my base, that this is not actually connecting to the trunk there like it's supposed to. I bet that is the core problem, because this is so problematic. Since I know I'm not doing it like that now, let's just do it this way, see if that will work. I bet that is where the problem's occurring. Yeah, still not connecting. So that's working. It's got to be the conveyor chain from this point, because that's built straight off of there. So the problem's not there. But when I tried to build off of the multi-sided piece there, you saw it didn't let me line it up. So I bet that's where the problem is. It's not lining up coming from that spot. Let's take that out and just see if I can get this to work like that. That looks like it's got a gap there in a way. It's a very minor look of a gap, but it does look like it has a gap there. Let's see if this works now, because that was built straight off of that. So it shouldn't be an issue connecting from this direction down. It's somewhere it's not connecting the way it is supposed to connect. The way it is supposed to work. And it's not working. So I just noticed, looking at everything again, that it reset all of my configurations on the miner. So I am harvesting stuff that I'm not supposed to be harvesting. And that also implies to me that even though, again, I've had to adjust it to say unlimited mining, it's not actually applying the unlimited mining effect to this. So hopefully the devs are going to fix that soon, because there is no excuse for not having it an option on existing game saves. If you go in and change it with a database editor, you can certainly have a feature in the game that allows you to actually change it within the game and make that work. So that's going to be it for this episode of Planet Nomads. I will have to keep playing with that setup over there. I'll probably have to come back and just basically put in another set of conveyor connectors, because once again, this game has some major physics flaws, despite the fact that it's more focused on physics than a game like Empyrean. It's just, there's things like the conveyors that just do not work the way they should still at this point. So while they say this game is full release, I do not consider it to be a full release. I think that's more of a beta release, and they still have a lot of bugs, a lot of things to tweak before they really can call it full release. So hopefully we'll see changes like that happening very soon. Obviously, we still have new content that's been added with the autonomous water purifier, so I would assume if they can still add new content, they can certainly continue to work on fixing some of these bugs. But again, that is it for this episode of Planet Nomads. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit the like button, leave me a comment below, and hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Spicy. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to keep it spicy this week, and I will see you in the next video.